and one of the things we're trying to figure out is if the Duet is running a real-time operating system, right? And um, but we need to have that switch as it's a state machine. So, but we need to be able to be monitoring that switch so that if we have a tool engaged, right? If a tool is engaged and we're running a print and that switch opens, we're doing emergency stop.
That protects you from what, like a catastrophic failure or a failure to pick up a tool?
A failure to pick up a tool because if, if we pick up the tool, that's great. Because we know that we're in the process of doing a tool pickup, right? But for printing, and that tool is engaged, it's supposed to be locked, right? That's like an alarm trip. So if we drop a tool while we're printing, we want to stop right away.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've had some of our users, H2B, had a catastrophic failure where he dropped the tool while he was printing, and it came all the way to the floor because it got pushed off the bed.
Wow.
And he's not the only one. Luke also had a similar situation where the tool came off and then it only partially came off, and then it dragged around the bed and just kept breaking stuff.
No, boy, that sounds
So,
like fun.
so my day job is risk mitigation, risk analysis. So I start looking for all the things that can go wrong and try to put ways of preventing them from going completely pear shaped. And this is going to be an add-on. It's not, or it's going to be something that we got to experiment with first. It's not ready for prime time because we don't know how act right. Although I think Steve, I think Clipper can handle this pretty easily because Clipper's loop time is such that um, it's got emergency overrides, even though it's sending all the G code that goes to the board controller, the MCU, is what 2/10 of a second ahead of move of
Yeah.
it's buffered like 2/10 of a second or more, depending on the memory on the board. But there's overrides, so Clipper can override it at any point. It can stop it immediately. That was
So so I just have to totally as an aside, if I seem distracted or if I uh, curse, it is because I have to do some HR stuff for work. So I dropped into our HR portal, but you can only do it from inside of our network. So I'm using Citrix. So
oh
I'm running. And this is the fun part. I don't want to install the Citrix client on mine, so we have the web only version. So I have the new version of Edge, which is Chrome based, running
uh,
Citrix in its window, and in that I'm running Chrome running on a virtual desktop.
you know you
I've
could
gone a little meta.
yeah well you could just spin up a VM on your machine and you know run your Citrix inside the VM,
No.
and then you'd sandbox it. Um, but anyway, we don't. Yeah, I spend all day on a VPN myself. So we tried to have a 200 person Zoom today on VPN. Oh my God, Zoom took 90 seconds to call me after I hit the call me button.
How did that meeting go?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I think I got a chance to meet my new director. I can't even. Let's see, how many levels above? One, two, three, 3 or 4 levels up.
Yeah.
um, and basically, she's in charge of account services for the entirety of North America.
What company you work for?
I work for Dell,
Ah, Dell.
but on the enterprise side. So
Gotcha.
not on. I deal with. I used to work for EMC, so it was a good meeting. Yeah, EMC, the biggest IT company.
Yeah, I work for a small family-owned ISP in Vermont.
Oh, okay. I've been in Burlington before.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, we have like Champlain Valley, Mad River Valley, basically both sides of the mountain. We were the biggest telephone company in the country for one day back in like in the 80s.
Right after the breakup.
Yeah, well, actually, we bought all of the telephone companies in the country as part of just a merger. So basically, out of it, we got Champlain Valley, but at one point, we owned more telephone line in this country than any other telco.
And that was for like what, 12 hours or something?
Basically, till they cut it up and handed it off to the little telcos.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got like 15,000 subscribers.
Yeah. That's actually, I almost like companies that size better than the big boys because you actually have to pay attention to your customer. And everybody who works there is a customer.
Yeah, we got gigabit fiber to my house.
Yeah, and you guys actually can like do stuff like that. I have to deal with Cox. I have to deal with Cox.
Cox, yeah, they got hit recently for not persecuting their users over BitTorrents.
You know, BitTorrent has a place, but that's okay. I'm really concerned about this Earn It Act. I've already had a conversation with both of my senators, and my representative about it, and I'm 2 out of 3 actually agree with me with my concerns, or at least they said they do. The third one is like the children, like you're just an idiot, or you're being paid off, or there's an agenda. Um, yeah, keys to the kingdom sort of stuff.
Is that one of those like reader internet type deals, or I haven't read about that one yet?
Oh no! The Earn It Act has got to do with the Internet Decency Act or the Decency Act. And the idea is that in order for an ISP to be protected from liability for the actions of their users, they have to meet best practices as determined by an independent committee run by the Department of Justice. And essentially, they have to be able to provide the contents of any communication running over their network to government on demand.
No, hell no.
Oh, hell yeah. Essentially, they have a method of persecuting or prosecuting companies that don't essentially eliminate end-to-end encryption. Oh, you have end-to-end encryption. You can't provide somebody that we suspect to be doing indecent things with children. And well, I don't, don't get me wrong. Exploited children are a terrible thing, but they are used entirely too much as an excuse for government.
Yeah, it's not obviously what the aim is.
No, especially with William Barr would be the chair of the committee, and he's already got a history of total government awareness, total information awareness as his agenda, which means GPG is going to go right back to my systems. And yeah, I'll send it in clear text, sort of, and I'll go with 1024-bit encryption. So GPG handles that, and I don't think anybody's cracking that anytime soon, unless they get in and get my private key. And I keep that on an iron. So anyway, good luck at trying to do that. Get that.
Yeah.
And I have no reason to hide anything except for the whole stack of. There's no reason for me to hide anything, but it doesn't mean I want you reading my mail.
Yeah. Well, there's no. Yeah.
So, I have got 45 of those little tiny wafer screws on the way. Shipping was $6. And screws were 30 cents a piece. So instead of buying the 6 or 12 that I needed, I bought 45 because I never buy anything unless shipping is a third, is less than half of what I bought the stuff for. So if this works and this is going to work out, I will send 3 screws for anybody who sends a self-addressed stamped envelope with $1 in it. I don't know if that's, we're going old school there. How's that? And extensible will go back up on my repository when I'm a little more comfortable with it. And that's the same one that's got the Amera tool mount on it. That's the one that, well, I mean, Eric's got it on his machine up there.
I do indeed.
Do you have the electronics on yours already? Or are you playing around with the duet configurations to see if it works, or what?
No, my printer prints.
But if somebody's got theirs ready, I will get the STLs out. I need to put a screw in this thing and then drive a pin in it and make sure I've got good electrical contact. And if that's the case, I'll go ahead and put the STL up, and the step file. If anybody wants to try it, the idea is that you'll be able to.
I will. I'm still waiting on my Delrin.
Oh yeah. For which ones? For the Flexons?
I'm waiting for the Delrin just for like the tops of the pulley systems on the motor mounts, all that. I bought the $16 kit from CNC Me or whatever it is. CNC.
Yeah, they're a little behind right now because they stopped everything to start injection molding face shields.
Yeah.
So,
I figured as much. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I just had to get in touch with them and tell them to scrap the plate because I have a CNC machine. I'm just gonna mill my own plate, but
really,
yeah.
You found a source.
I'm gonna make some of those corner pads. I got some aluminum in last week from Online Metals, so I got some like 6.25 or whatever the thickness is plate. So I'll just have to mill like a millimeter off the top of them, but.
Okay.
I don't know how it's going to go because it's a Shapeoko, and I haven't bought the the Z carriage for it, so there's some flex there. But supposedly it can handle aluminum if you don't try to go too aggressive with it.
Yeah, just be careful on your aluminum is really bad for your bits because it gums up, or you have to get your feeds and speeds just right. The speed can
make it chip out, right?
Yeah, if you don't chip, it'll you'll gall things up and get some self-welding going on. You got to get good chips so they break away instead of just kind of smearing around.
Yeah, I did a little bit of what's it called, Lexon. It's like that plexiglass stuff that's about a half-inch thick.
Yep.
Lexan, I think. But yeah, that was
half-inch thick.
Well, that's actually yeah.
That's pretty thick.
I'd have to measure it again. It might have. I think it was about a half-inch thick. I had this guy that's like this crazy architect up here that had a bunch of it laying around, and I used it to make like a dust boot for my CNC machine, but had to cut out the like side arms and everything.
Yeah.
I think a quarter-inch sheet is like $200.
Oh, it's not cheap. I know.
Yeah.
His offsets. This guy like makes huge architectural projects. He's kind of like, the eccentric architect, if you will. So he has a bunch of this stuff laying around.
Yeah, it's like I got my granite plate, my granite sheet.
All right.
I walked into the local stone cutter and asked, it's like, hey, do you have any like cutoffs or scraps to buy? And he walked me out and he's like, do you want this? It's in the trash. We're just going to throw it away. It's like 30 by 28.
Yeah, you had a picture of that in the back of your station wagon or your hatchback, right?
Yeah, that's the back of a full-size minivan.
Oh, wow.
So that,
That's a big piece of stone there.
it takes up my, it forms the surface of my bed. Oh man, and I was gonna do, I know what I was getting ready to do, I built another Ender 3 Pro, or Ender 5 Pro, because I basically been making nothing but face shields for the last week and a half.
I'm on day 4.
What's that?
I said I'm on day 4 of face shields.
Well, we've got a goal of like 3,500.
What collective are you doing it with?
757 Makerspace. It's for
Okay,
him.
I was talking about matter hackers. You haven't heard anything shady about them, have you?
No.
No, they're good actually.
All right, just making sure. They're a little vague. They're just like, here's the STL, and you've committed to sending us 30.
Oh no, they're the local Makerspace. We've got a.
Gotcha.
That they just moved into a bigger space. They've renamed it the Dream Factory. So
I had this vision.
Yeah,
of
they
them
have
just taking mine and chopping them up to make filament to sell back to us. No.
And the hackers are good guys.
All right, good to know.
Did anybody else get the sample of the Vision Miner nanopolymer adhesive?
Yes, I did, and I love it, except it's pricey.
I just bought it. Well, they had it on sale last week.
No, you're gonna make me cry.
What does that stuff do?
So I couldn't get my PETG to stick to my bed no matter what I did.
Huh.
So I wiped down the bed with alcohol. I let it dry. I made an X on the bed of the area where I was printing with the sample. I used maybe a milliliter for the entire X. Brushed it back and forth to smooth it out over that. Let it dry, and then did it again. And I brushed it in the opposite direction or cross direction. So I put 2 very, very thin coats on the bed, let it dry, and then did my print. And perfect PETG motor plates. Like, absolutely.
Did it come off?
Did it come off? Yes.
Yes,
As soon as it cooled down, when the bed cooled down and hit 35 degrees, there was a
ping.
It hit 35 degrees both times, and there was a pop. And the part, and they're flat on the bottom.
Yeah, I already use the Wham Bam Flex Plate on my current printer, which I freaking love. I will say this: there can be problems with it peeling, the PEX coating on their Flex Plate peeling.
Yeah.
But since
it's
since I can.
Yeah, I have like 3 different spring plates with different brands, PEX or PEI, and then I've got a Wham Bam PEX. I love the PEX. I had to crank up to 75 to get PLA to stick to it though, but it comes right off.
It does, and the other thing that I did learn is you should let things cool before you try to take them off of the PEX.
Yeah.
Oh, it will rip it.
If you try to take stuff off while it's hot, it'll just rip it right off.
Yeah, I have 2 plates like that right now.
Okay. So you know who Lin Su is, right?
No.
Okay, Lin Su is a wonderful gentleman. He is the Creality Amazon's return manager. Okay. He's the guy who do Ender 5 Pros for $300.
Really?
And I just got.
I could use a couple of those for making face shields right now.
And I just got another Ender 3 from him, and I paid $86 for it. Ender 3 Pro. Now it's a return. It might be mildly damaged.
Who cares? Strip it out and build it up.
Well, this Ender 5, in the live stream, if you roll back, you're going to see a picture of a destroyed bed. That's this Ender 5. So just so you know, I talked to my boys, my cat. I have three fluffy boys, and this is usually the time of night where I start not running around like a chicken. And they're like, "Oh, now you can pay attention to me."
Hmm?
So I will talk to my cat. So please bear with me.
Here's my
So every so often, oh, you got an Ender 5 too. Nice.
Yeah, it's running duet board right now. I got 3 into 1. What is it, the TH3-01 or something like that, hot
Yeah.
end.
Okay.
And so I can do, it's basically 3 colors.
No.
The Z mods, different upgrades on it, but
Oh, you put the 800 step Z mod on it, and you.
I put, you see those PETG spacers on the y-axis there.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yep.
I did that originally because I was using a color dumper off the side when I was doing color changes.
Okay. It gives you a little bit more clarity.
Yeah, you can move the nozzle off the bed that way. Plus, you gain another 20 Z. I think you do get a tad bit more ringing that way, but not enough to bother me really.
Yeah. So these Ender 5s, the one that I got, or at least the first one that I built, the upgraded Z lead screw. So it's a single start T2, or it's a T8 2. So it's 800 steps per millimeter. So the bed doesn't drop when you kill power, and your Z step is like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you only get 2 millimeters of change on a full rotation on the stepper.
That's what I'm running on my my Sapphire.
Okay.
I'm running a 8x2 for
All
the
right.
Z, and the only other thing I've done mod wise is E3DV6. What's funny is I'm trying to remember the name of the company, not LDO, but one of the companies that sells like Chinese rails that are supposedly good. I was looking at their picture, and they're the rails that are on my bed.
Oh.
On the and I was like, that's interesting because I paid. So this is the crazy part. This is why, if it wasn't for the geometry mistakes in Sapphire, I'd tell more people to go look at them. But for what was at the time $350, I got a Core XY that I can easily print at 120 millimeters a second with.
That's impressive.
And I mean, I get super high quality prints out of it, but it took a lot of patience and making sure that everything was perfect that probably a lot of people don't have the patience for. But other than that, I've got an E3DV6 nozzle on it and a Wham Bam flex plate system on it, and I've got a whole bunch of other mods other than the Z lead screw change that are waiting in the wings. But I have a rule that I never mess with the functional printer while I've got another non-functional printer.
Yeah.
That's good thinking.
Well, and that's currently the Jubilee. So once the Jubilee is up and going, I've got a bunch of little mods on this one, swapping out drivers for 2208. The probably biggest thing I'm changing on this one, the one thing that I have mixed feelings about is that the Sapphire uses a rod, so your motors are in the base. So the nice thing I liked about building it compared to everything else is that basically building this thing was assembling the hollow, basically putting the posts in place, wiring things up, and putting the halo plate on top of the on top of the rods, the extrusions. That was basically it, and then wiring some stuff up.
I mean, the way you're describing it, essentially you could go with a full enclosed.
Yeah, absolutely.
All your steppers inside of the heated enclosures.
That's why I bought it originally. Was I looked at it and I said, man, this thing could be used with a heated enclosure. The only thing that people don't like about it is because it has basically the optical shaft, as it goes from the top to the bottom. They're real easy to get bent and introduce a little bit of wobble. And so mine has a tiniest little bit of wobble to it, because I did manage to kind of...
The shaft is a Core XY, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Core XY. Shaft is for your X and Y steppers, or your core steppers?
Yeah. Yep. And what a lot of people did to mod it was they actually take the motors and put the motors, like, mount the motors underneath on blocks, essentially.
Yeah.
Because that gets rid of those rods. What I've got waiting in the wings is hollow carbon fiber rods.
Yeah, you don't need torsion for those, or you
Right.
have a well-determined, an identified one, which is going to give you essentially, if you do have torsion in those rods, you're essentially going to have to do pressure advance on your XY, or
Right.
linear on your XY, because that's the thing you run into. Bowden's definitely have more. I have identified now that I can't actually run linear advance on my board. So the Creality 115 silent board has 4 2208s in standalone stealth chop.
Okay.
On mode, and you can't do linear advance stealth chop.
Ah.
So yeah.
I put an MKS gun out before I put the board in it.
Well, I think what I'm going to do here is it's going to get an SKR 3 Mini, because it's got 2209s, but they're in UART mode. Yeah, so they'll be able to drive this thing, and it's like $38. So
does that guy have any more under 5s for sale?
No, he had some. And a friend of mine just bought 2 of them, and I got one because I've got 1 under 3 that I picked up on Craigslist locally.
Okay.
And when I picked it up on Craigslist, I paid like $130 for it, and it's got rails Y, rails on the Z, a Swiss hot end, and the direct drive mod. And I just put the MKS or the SKR Mini 3 with its the TFT 35E display, which is it's pretty slick actually. So it's a direct drop in for the enders. It's the same form factor, same pole mounts, and the display. If you can go to TFT, you can go TFT and get a color touchscreen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Size SD card on the touchscreen.
Yeah, I was running just Octoprint when I had the motherboard.
Oh yeah, I'm running Octoprint. That yellow that you see in the picture has got a Raspberry Pi 3A, and that's running my Octoprint.
Yeah, I see that. Okay.
I need to find a better place to put it, but where it is has got good clearance. It clears the bed, it clears all the moving parts, and I just need to get a much shorter USB cable because my back wiring is a mess. I have to put standoffs to put my cover in place because my X cable. I haven't finished wiring everything up, The only things I've really done mod wise is the silent end stops mod and moving the control box because I like getting the control box off the bottom.
Yeah, I got mine mounted on the back panel. I just bought some, plexiglass sheets to put in the frame.
Yeah, but I don't have a CNC or a laser. And Luigi has stopped talking.
Well, they cut them at the hardware store, and they were cheaper than I could get them on Amazon. There's something funny about that place. I was like, what?
That's like a local Ace or
Yeah, it was.
Place.
And I just hand drilled the holes with the screwdriver, so. But.
Oh, that. Alrighty then. So I have. Where is my controls?
One piece of advice: if you go that route, do your metric to standard conversion prior to getting to the hardware store.
Oh yeah, I do that. Yeah, I'm really good at.
I need 4 to 5 millimeters by. He's looking at me like, huh? Are you from Canada?
No. No, I'm not from Canada. Thank you very much. All right, where is my filament? Didn't I not just add that? I was in the process of adding a plug-in. And apparently
did you upgrade the Z on that Ender 5, or you said it came with one already upgraded on it?
Yeah, it came with the Ender 5 Pro. Came with the upgraded Z lead screw.
Can you show me a picture of that? Because I got an Ender 5 Pro, but it was over a year and a half ago or something like that.
Yeah, let me see what I can come up with.
Or if I sell one of mine.
Well, how much does your bed drop on single rotation?
I haven't even measured it, to be honest.
One way to do it is do a Z move of 2 millimeters. See if your lead, if it goes around exactly once.
So put a piece of tape on it with a little flag on and drop the thing 3 millimeters and measure out.
Well, drop it 3 millimeters. And if it goes around once, 3 millimeters, then that's your upgraded lead screw. If it goes around, I think you have the old lead screw.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The pitch looks like, if you drop it, if you put your flag on it, well, you've got a job running, so but when
I'm not gonna do it now.
Yeah, but
Oh. Hey, Josh.
And see how much it changes.
So that'd probably be a worthwhile.
Wow, a lot of people tonight.
Yeah, it's about $15.
Good party.
Hey, who else is here?
It's Josh.
Oh, hey, Josh.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Doing all right. How do you feel?
Not too shabby.
Completely over your cold?
I would say yes. As of like a couple days ago.
That's good.
How's everyone else doing?
Good.
Doing HR paperwork.
Oh no.
It's all right. It's HR paperwork, but it's not HR puppet stuff.
I have to provide my business priorities, client, customer, and stakeholder priorities, team and leadership priorities, and risk controls and conduct.
You have to do that? My boss fills that all in for us, the entire team.
No. They make us come up with it, and then they judge you by it.
Oh, that's.
Your own metrics.
Yeah, and they want them to be measurable.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I've spent the last day or so actually working on my big box.
Oh, cool. How's that going?
I think pretty good finally. I upgraded it to RepRap 3.0.
Oh, how did that go?
Difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that there was a whole bunch of extra information buried at the, like, way down the page. I know it sounds stupid, but
Oh, for Breath 3? No, it's a usability error.
yeah, it's so they like talk about, it's like, okay, you need to do this step, then you need to do this step, then you need to do this step, right? So
Okay.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, where's all the information for this step? So I didn't realize it, but it was all, I think all the information is probably there, but they don't not only tell you to look down the page, they don't tell you where it's at, they don't tell you that more information exists on this web page, you know what I mean? For this stuff.
Oh,
You just gotta have to
yeah.
know to find it.
I upgraded a board to Prep 3 at some point, and I think I remember being in a similar spot where I was like, where is this? So you're not alone.
So Josh, I posted the new pictures of the that we talked about
Oh, yeah? For
the lock plate switch, through switch.
oh, okay.
So
I'll
they're
scroll up in the chat.
like that. And those are based on an M3 by 3.5 wafer heads. Go on, take one. They're wafer thin.
I'm not sure if you're talking to me or the cat.
No. I was talking to you. I was trying to be silly. It is this time of night. That's what happens.
Okay.
It's wafer thin. Oh, I couldn't. Go on, Mr. Bucket.
I got your quote.
I'm at a loss.
I have no idea.
Monty Python.
That was my first guess. Oh, okay.
Mr. Bucket. Oh, I couldn't eat another bite. Come on, it's wafer thin. It's wafer thin. So they are M3 3.5 wafer head screws. They're available on metricscrew.com. I have ordered 45 of them because they're 30 cents a piece, $6 in shipping. That's the flat rate shipping. That's the minimum shipping rate. Put it in a box and send it, which isn't unreasonable on a 30-cent screw. So I bought 45 of them. So if this turns out to, and if people want them, I will until I get down to that I'm comfortable keeping.
Mm-hmm.
Send me a self-addressed stamp envelope with $1.
Sure. Okay.
I'll send you 3 of them.
Cool.
But you can buy if you go looking these at other places, you're going to pay like 90 cents a piece. I'm assuming you wanted 93 for these screws.
These are for the wafer thin in particular?
Yeah, they're M3 3.5 inch or 3.5 millimeter with a wafer head. So the wafer head is only 0.5 millimeter thick.
Okay.
It is a cross point screw, a Phillips screw. It is in a countersunk because there's not enough meat there to put a countersink in it, or put a use a little Phillips screwdriver.
Huh.
But I'm sure everybody's got a tweaker.
My big box apparently can't reach 2.6 meters. Who knew?
Who knew?
What is that?
What is what?
That sounds quite mechanical.
Oh, sorry. I'm just really close to the machine right now.
Oh, that's you?
Is that as loud
Yeah.
as it sounds? Or is it just a quirk of the speakers?
It might just be a quirk. That's because I'm so close. Like I'm at point blank.
All right.
It could also just be really loud. I think it's in the closet. I can't sleep with it if it's not in the closet.
Ah,
Well, I hope so. I hope this volcano is doing okay. It's starting to get a little goofy at the top, but it's also basically been running nonstop.
Is that your
The
Jubilee?
last 2 days. Yeah. So I did change out the motors for Moon's motors, and I discovered that I lose steps much more easily with Moon's motors, which is why I haven't recommended them to anybody. Which is why I have taken the microstepping down to a factor of 8 instead of 16.
what are you using?
Moon's motors.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but for like the same settings, pretty much they skip at like slightly lower speed deceleration settings. So the hack was to drop the microstepping factor, which is partly why it's also noise too.
Got it.
I'll get out of the way in a second.
That's okay.
No worries.
What about those stepper motors they're coming out with, that Kickstarter that has the feedback loops on them so they can check for lost steps?
That would be cool. And then you just kind of input step and direction. That would be a nice upgrade.
I mean, Reality's already got a closed loop out there. It is using the 49. I have to start.
I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. And all right. Got my steps. Doing my E steps on the new Ender 5. I was trying to, getting very far. So they need something that I can put parts on. So, Josh, this is what we talked about. The screws go into the back of the pins. So you're actually driving the screw down into positive contact with the pin after the pins are installed. So hopefully those screws will be here later this week, first part of next. And then I can see if they are flush. They do need to be flush or below the surface. And the grooves are still that is enough to embed. Oh darn it! I will completely embed wondering it. This would be a really interesting case, and work with me here. This would be a really interesting case if we're being able to do a multi-material conductive filament.
Oh yeah.
What do you think of that?
That would be possible. You could even, yeah, especially because it's a press fit, you kind of guarantee that you get continuity.
What? It just occurred to me that would be awesome, but I'd have to build a Jubilee first before I could do it.
Oh yeah, no, it would be a great idea.
And because it's just a conductivity, the resistance high. In fact, I don't know what the resistance on that was.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the resistance isn't great, but it doesn't need to be. You don't need a very long thing before you put a bolt and wire on it.
And you only have to have two connections.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool to explore.
No screws at all, and no additional holes.
It would be its own upgrade. It's self-upgradable. It prints its own feet with CPU.
Oh, that would be so cool.
That actually would be cool if you have like this like tier of upgrades that all involve multi-material parts.
Yeah. Kinda. It's just so you have connected elements. And
What's that?
Right now, cost is pretty much only doing. They've shut down and they laid a bunch of people off actually.
Yeah, I heard you got laid off. I'm pretty sad about that.
Well, hearing from what Port Cost is what in Washington.
They're at the very bottom of Washington.
Right. So one of the things that Washington is doing is they can take better care of people who have been laid off. Other states are doing. So Protopasta laying them off actually is doing people a favor, because I think they put them on instead of, whatever the term, whichever phrase they use gets them their unemployment. While not driving Protopasta into bankruptcy.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that they might be able to do is rehire them when things get better.
Well, that's the intent.
I think that's probably what a lot of places will end up doing, assuming they can survive.
It's not going to happen in Virginia. Virginia is a right-to-work state.
Oh, what?
Virginia was run by Republicans.
No, it's breaking up. I can't. Is that me?
No, it's probably me.
Hey, you sound fine, Josh. I'm hearing him break up a little too.
Here we go. I'll personally buy you a nicer microphone. Kidding.
Is it your mic or is it Wi-Fi?
I think it's Mike.
Ah.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, it's the iPod. It's the iPad.
I knew it. It's always the iPad.
So, yeah, that's the thing. So, yeah, Virginia's in a pretty bad. Virginia's one of those right-to-work states. So there you go. Little or no union protection, and you can get laid off for any reason without repercussion.
Well, I hope for the best. I hope everyone's all right, or makes it out all right on the other side.
Honestly, I think we're going to be probably in surprisingly better shape than people think. One of the things that I keep remembering is chaos breeds opportunity. So now is the time to start planning and working towards figuring out what kind of world you want when we come through the other side of this. And you can start making that happen. So that's I mean, I know.
Damn it, I wanted Bernie.
What's that?
I wanted Bernie.
The thing is, it's not about me, and he'll tell you that. It's not me, it's us. It's the movement. He's made such a change in the conversation. Probably, when I said I did the Burlington, I served on the USS Montpelier. And we went to Burlington after the big flood in 90, what was it, 89, 90? No, 91, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't live here then, but I know which one. Yeah, I was here for Irene, but not that one.
So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's there's going to be lots of opportunity when we get through this, and until we have vaccines gotten over it, and they're starting to build some immunities, things like that. And it's not going to be a year; it's going to be, a couple of years. No matter what the people in power try to say, because that's how biology works. We're going to have lots of opportunities. Why am I not able to extrude? It's trying. All right. Extruder is giving me a really hard time. All right. You guys ever have problems with the extruder with the filament not going into the extruder?
On a Bontech?
No, it's not a Bontech. It's a stock ender.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to help you there. Yes.
What's happening?
Oh, it's missing the hole on the top. You just have to fiddle with it. It's wrapping around the idler and coming out instead of going straight up into it.
Oh, is that, are you printing TPU?
No, I'm threading not great PLA.
Huh. Are you using the stock extruder?
Yeah, pretty much.
And you're actually having it gap? Oh, and it doesn't, yeah, that thing's such a pain to feed.
Got it. I just had to wiggle. I had catch on the end of the thumb. So I'm ready to.
I'd get like a Titan or a Bontech or something like that on there. It's so much better.
Oh, I'll get to it. I just need to issue G1 F100. I'm doing my E-steps calibration, and I on the with these I do the E-step with the Bowden tube removed.
So you don't do it under pressure?
No, that's calibration. I'm looking for raw E-steps, and then I do flow calibrations for material. The assumption is that I'm not slipping. I'm not. My gear, my hob gear is not slipping on the filament. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I put a little spacer in my spring to put more tension on it because, before I had my heat creep issues resolved and really had the PFP sealing properly on the nozzle, I would have all sorts of a little bit of gunk and I couldn't screw it anymore.
Yeah.
But I never had that happen. I got like Titan from what are those TH3D, I guess they are. They make those tough scooters.
Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah, they've been relatively good. And then I've got a cheap Chinese put together style Bontech.
Hey Brian.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you have a fan duct for the that 5015 fan?
Grab the one off of Luke's design that was posted.
Well, that's compatible.
Yeah, that'll work. It's a 5015.
All right. Yeah, I just got in my box of fans.
Cool.
I need to build a hovercraft or something. I don't know. I've got so many extra fans. I need to do something with them.
Yeah, so everybody's got their procedures, right, for calibration. And Josh is writing down the setup initial configuration procedures too, which is going to be really helpful for people when they get to that point.
I'm working on it.
When it did, that would compliment.
Oh, well, we're getting somewhere. I'm told the mesh bed leveling helped a little bit.
Yes, indeed.
What was going on with it?
Yeah, he had a twist in the frame.
The frame.
Yeah, so essentially what I did to fix it was, to minimize it, and I did this when I was building, so I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I loosened up all of the set screws on the vertical on the back right corner and the front left corner. I clamped them down and tightened them. Like, I have a clamp that's big enough to clamp the entire vertical height of the Jubilee. So I clamped them down nice and tight. And when I did the front left corner, not much really actually changed, so that one was pretty good. It fixed it just a tiny bit, so I knew I was going in the right direction.
Okay.
And then I did get some out of the back right corner when I did tighten that one down, and that's where I got most of my fix from. And then also there was a little bit of skew on the front of the machine when I measured the diagonals across the vertical. And to fix that, I just kind of pulled on it, to be honest.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you could do to really fix it. I mean, I guess you could try loosening up all the verticals and pulling it a little bit, but that just sounds terrible.
And this was what, because the extrusions didn't lay completely flat when you initially tightened them into the frame, like this.
So I don't know exactly how it happened because, like I said, I clamped everything. But we're talking like I got out less than like probably somewhere around 1/4 of a millimeter of space between the extrusions. I make something very, very tiny. But it was causing a plus and like when I first started, my back corners were almost they were like 0.8 millimeters apart from top to bottom, which was way more than I wanted, and now I'm within just over 1/4 millimeter of difference between the back left and back right.
Hmm.
So just because
What, you said 0.8?
yeah, it was about 0.8 to 0.9 millimeters from
Like four layers on a standard print?
right. So not good.
Yeah, that's not great.
So
Your last mesh map looked pretty good, though.
are you talking about what you're seeing on the screen right now, or are you talking about something that what I posted?
I think what you posted. Wait, is there something on the screen somewhere?
Oh, I'm working on my other printer and I'm doing a live
You got
stream.
your YouTube feed going?
Yeah, my YouTube feed's going, so
Oh,
the Jubilee is printing right now, and I'm working. Huh?
I just didn't have it up. I was
Oh,
on my phone.
oh, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I knew what you're talking about.
I was talking about the picture I think you
Yeah.
posted maybe a day or two ago, but
Yeah, yeah, you're right. That one was definitely better. Oh shoot.
it inspired me to put shims of tin foil underneath my spring plate.
Okay, so my E-steps are dead on. 100.0, 100.0, 100.0.
Yeah. Wait, this is extruder steps per millimeter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So E-steps on the ender, but so I run it in free air. So I do a G1 E100 F100, so it's a nice slow even extrusion, but it goes into free air, and then I will I do it 3 times, and then I'll check it, and that's where I do my E-step calibration.
Mm-hmm.
So then after I do that, I will run a flow check. So it's a two-wall square. So it's a 35 millimeter square that's done two walls thick with a 0.4, and then I adjust my flow up or down 100% based on that wall thickness for that particular material. And I usually do that. I'll go back and forth, and Steve, you can explain how you do it too, between temperature tower and flow adjustment.
Yeah.
Temp tower is what your filament's going to flow at, and then the flow adjustment is getting your cubic millimeters per second.
Yeah. Sorry.
So your slicer matches up. So, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm caught up in my stuff. Give me a second.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
It's all that HR.
I am very happy that I have it. Yes, it's
Wow.
moving, but it's away.
That makes me jealous.
What? No direct reports?
No, I posted a picture of my bed after I shimmed it with like 6 pieces of tinfoil.
Did you just do that? Or is this...
I did that yesterday when I saw him messing with his bed. I was like, I bet I can get this better. That's my Ender 5, though.
Wow.
Wow.
That'd be is that a touch? Or is that a...
What's that?
Which sensor are you using? Look.
A BL Touch.
Okay.
What bed surface do you have on it?
It's just a spring plate from Wham Bam.
I mean, what's the surface though? Is it?
Oh, it's a PEX.
Nice.
See, when I put on my bed plate, if I do it off the raw aluminum, it's much smoother. But I got a bit of like a ripple or something like that in my in the magnetic bed.
Yeah, mine had a taco. It was weird. Mine was high on the front and backs pretty evenly, so it kind of was like a half pipe. So I put a piece of tinfoil in the center of it, and then a little piece of tinfoil on the two sides, and had to put one more in the back middle, and then I got it like pretty dialed in now.
I would say. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crap, I can't remember if I adjusted the corner or not. Oh well.
Your benchy is fast.
I'm just trying to fix my print quality issues. Right now I'm working on the seam. Seams are ugly on the big box, or the Jubilee for some reason.
Do you have pictures? Oh, then maybe I'll just scroll up.
Sure. If you scroll up, there was a Jubilee, or a Jubilee. There was a Benchy. But
yeah.
even here, I'll snap a picture of my latest print, which is one thing I gotta do is I just measure the frequencies. One of my belts seems to have loosened up a little bit.
Something
40.
tells me that either my ISP is giving me trouble. I keep getting redirects from Singapore, and it's pissing me off.
Did you say your ISP? What?
Well, I don't know if it's the ISP because it's certainly maybe a cookie somewhere that I picked up. It's your Flash player may be out of date. Please update the Flash player, and it's update most recent application dot best, and it's like absolutely freaking not.
Ignore the warpness of the print. I bent it with pliers a little bit, but right, you can see the seam though. I'm talking about.
Is this
Oh, I
on
see
your
it.
YouTube feed right now? Oh, okay. I was in the past. There we go.
It looks a bit overly oozed. The whole print, actually. What's your extrusion multiplier?
You think the whole print looks over extruded? I
A
dialed
bit.
it in pretty.
All right. Oh, you know, it could also be cooling.
Well, the
The fan
cooling's
is on.
not. The cooling's definitely not good, but
Wait. So, wait. Do you know? Do you not have a fan or something?
I have a fan. It doesn't work very well though. Like, not
Ah,
only
okay.
is the fan small, but it also has issues.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a whole different fan on it soon. But I mean, the top layer is pretty nice. There might be a tiny bit of roughness on the top edge, but I wouldn't say it's over extruded. I might be able to dial it back a tiny bit.
I
Here, let
think
me.
it might be a. Bro, I was gonna say, I think it might be a cooling thing then.
The
'Cause it
seam?
does look a bit melty. Well, so sorry, my bad. The overall print, the seam might just be needs a
Well,
little bit more faster retraction.
yeah, there's definitely a cooling issue for sure, but it's actually on the restart. Yeah, that's a top layer picture.
Is that after you
Huh? Like, I squished it, so don't mind the warpness of the print. Because I didn't feel like waiting for it to cool down, I squished it with a pair of pliers. So don't.
So, Josh, one thing I wanted to mention when I finally get my Jubilee built, I was going to make chord voicings on the tools and have the thing play a song on a little keyboard.
Wait. So, are you talking about you control it via the keyboard,
No,
or
no,
you?
it'll actually, I'll have like fingerings for like a major and minor chord and have the tool changer pick up major chords and play notes on a keyboard that's sitting on the bed.
Oh, nice. I
So
approve.
I can make the tool changer play the song.
Yeah.
I
Then
was
you
gonna
just
try to
sample
do a
it.
guitar and have the ender strum the strings while the Jubilee did the chord voicings on the neck of the guitar, but then I was like, I don't have enough time on my hands for that.
You even consider such a thing, you definitely have more time than I do. Hey, Steve, still there?
Yeah, what's up?
I could probably just look up in the chat. I was wondering if you knew off the top of your head what the trick was to get the print to be kind of above and below the plane. But I think it's because of where I'm probing the bed, so never mind. I'm just working on my other printer right now. It's like my negative is practically 0, but everything is positive. But it doesn't really matter. Yeah, while I run test prints on the Jubilee, I'm trying to get my big box back into shape.
Okay, is it just me or is split person offline? Because it's there's something that
Ooh. Well, of course, no, I'm high on that corner. Yeah, you can definitely see the difference between rails and rods. You see the
Oh,
nice,
what's that?
like right now, this is my big box. You can see the nice dome as it curves. There's highest points in the middle and lowest points are on the edges. The rail sag.
I need a visual. Where's my YouTube?
Oh, I can post a picture in
Oh, I
Discord.
see it now. Oh, so red is the sag in the middle.
Yeah, which is it's actually showing up as a peak because it's inverted to what the axis is.
Yeah, it thinks
Okay.
it's a high point, but really.
It thinks it's a high point because it's sagging. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because
That is crazy that it's noticeable, but I mean that would make sense.
it's not a lot of sag. I mean, if you think about it, this is a 4-year-old machine, but yeah, trying to get at least the 4 corners to all be at the same height.
Just need some tinfoil, that's it.
This actually uses a different method. It has adjustment posts. So you loosen up the screw, and then you turn the post, and then you tighten the screw.
Oh.
Works pretty good.
How many millimeters are you printing at? What speed are you printing at there for your infill?
Oh, something ridiculous, because that's what's in the profile that was online. 1 second. Well, ridiculous to what I'm used to, at least. Oh, I guess it's not as bad as I thought. It's 100. It used to be 170.
Wow.
I need to get the Jubilee on a stiffer table. This plastic table is not very stable.
it's a little wiggly and it jiggles.
It's jello.
So I got an accelerometer that I picked up. If I can only get it to talk to my machine, I'll be in much better shape. Right now, the Bluetooth connects, but I can't get the software to talk to it. Although there is an SDK, but it's a 9-axis accelerometer and chronometer. That will. It was like $35. And so it'll bolt right to the top of the machine. I can bolt it right to one of the back rails. Or the
Do you
back
know what model it is?
Yep.
Do you know what chip it is?
Give me a sec. We'll grab
Say
it.
what?
Give me a sec. Let me grab it.
I actually did a bunch of MEM sensor stuff years ago, so let's just say I wrote a lot of drivers for my first internship and job.
It is the WIT motion, WIT motion, BWT 901DL. I don't know which MEM sensor it's got, but it's a self-contained unit. It's got a lithium battery in it. It's Bluetooth. but it also has a serial connection port on the side.
Huh. I haven't heard of this one.
Uh, it-motion.com.
IT Motion.
W Whiskey Indigo Tango.
Oh, WIT Motion. Oh.
WIT-motion. Yep. It's got an Android app, but there's no iOS app.
Oh, okay. It's a tilt sensor. Interesting.
But,
Oh no, it's a full IMU.
Yep. The BWT901CL. There's a BCL that's got an altimeter barometer in it.
I bet you it's just like a BNO 085.
It probably is, but it's got some support circuitry in it. As long as you can connect, if you can connect properly, it'll just stream a serial connection of its data, and it's at 200 hertz sample rate.
That's cool.
So people are, we're saying, well, it's only got 100 hertz sample rate. That's the data delivery rate. Its sample rate is much higher.
What are you going to use this for?
I'm going to mount it on my Jubilee and start tuning it for resonance, finding my resonance frequencies, and start adding mass until the resonance that causes ringing goes away.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now. Okay, so what you need. I've done this before, actually, in a class at school back in the day. You only need an accelerometer.
Yeah.
Maybe 100 hertz will be okay. I have a suspicion that.
This one does.
You know what? It's probably fine.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to pick up stuff up to like 50 hertz.
No, this one does 200.
Okay.
And I'm use a strobe tuner for that.
And it's $35, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, it's not the expensive ones.
Oh, that's fine.
It's not $35,000 each that we use for tuning the machine from the sub.
Yeah, no, it's a matter of whether or not it has a high, or it has a cutoff. It has some sort of frequency cutoff beyond the sampling rate.
Yeah.
So that you don't get alias values.
Well,
can you do this with like a microphone and a strobe tuner or anything like that, or is this like above human hearing that these frequencies you're talking about?
I don't think it is, because when we're running the machine at pretty low rates or low speeds, we'll notice some vibration, like 30 millimeters per second is when I'll notice some like weird noises. And the machine is big too, so you're vibrating this huge mass.
But it's not as massive as we're finding that some people are having more luck with, dropping a paver stone in the bottom of the machine, or mounting it on something massive, or attaching heavy things to the side. I mean, we've got one person essentially labs to the side of the machine as a side panel.
Attaching heavy things to the bottom or the side would help, but it's kind of like operating blind. Like you don't know, like if you're putting it in the right spot.
Exactly.
Huh. So what were you going to add to it? You said sand or something, or what?
Well, I know that what I'm planning to do with the big, which is the next generation after I finish my Jubilee, built on a 500 by 500 volume. And I'm going to be using 4040s, and the 4040s is filled with lead shot. So,
gotcha.
So what I've thought of doing for this kind of problem, Josh, and this is more of the overkill approach.
Because everything overkill, Steve.
Not everything. But the idea that I've had for a long time is to basically use software to solve this problem.
Just not move around, just like move around those, print around those frequencies.
Yeah, literally. So
that would work.
One of the things that people have done in commercial CNCs is they basically, and I've seen a couple different implementations of this. Sometimes they do it with the motors, right? Because what they'll do is they'll actually step the motors to a range of, they'll basically slam it back and forth across all the different ranges of motion and measure where your system has the most inaccuracy.
Hmm.
And so then those systems basically will use a spread spectrum approach on the driving of the motor to avoid those frequencies.
Well, I mean, you
So
just have to
usually
not print around that area.
use conditional statements within Duet to do that. Like if
Yeah.
millimeters per second is above or below, just add something.
It would best be done in the slicer, because essentially what you could do is you could look at the motion planning of the slicer itself and change acceleration. So don't just have a single smooth acceleration as you move from point A to point B. You basically move from A to point A to point B, then vary itself above and below the rate. Now the difficult part is that means you have to basically compensate for that with the extruder, right? Because you're basically going to be moving faster in some parts and slower in other parts, and having to keep track of that as you extrude. So the best way to do that is while slicing. I've seen it done on lathe to eliminate ringing. When they're working on a lathe at the far end of the lathe, they'll just take the VFD that's driving the lathe three-phase motors, and they'll just vary the RPM up and down.
Yeah, what you're doing is creating a resonance. One of the things you're doing is either finding and working around the resonance frequencies, or you're just sliding through the ranges, so you can't get that standing wave.
Exactly.
It's kind of like some of the stuff that you do with. So, I mean, you guys, Josh, probably, I mean, you may be very familiar with this. Remember the Comaneros Bridge?
Oh, the one that collapsed because it just...
Yeah.
Galloping Gertie.
Some great footage, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that materials, one of our materials quality course. And yeah, that was a new power school thing. All right, so that I didn't take it completely apart because I didn't have the right screwdriver. That's probably just the Bluetooth stack. The MEMS is probably on the board that's underneath. But Josh, the whip motion makes a bare board without a case and a battery in it. That comes in about $20. So what's a good high frequency measuring MEMS device?
The issue, so you can actually get really cheap ones that are awesome, that will sample at 2 kilohertz, that are all MEMS sensors. So most things from SparkFun that are just pure accelerometers will probably have a 2 kilohertz sampling rate. Just to rattle some off, the BMA 180 I think they have the BMA 280. I think it's the BMA 280 now. That will sample at 2 kilohertz. The problem is actually being able to collect that data fast enough. At that point, you need to use a DAC.
Yeah.
Or you have a microcontroller sample it and collect it onto an SD card.
Yeah.
And do it that way. Or you can. This is the other complicated route where you do it with. You write a very custom USB driver, but even then you're still bandwidth limited.
How about the BNO55?
That one, that one will also work, but that one is 3 separate chips plus a microcontroller to do the IMU fusion, and you just want to talk to the accelerometer directly, which you could still do, but it would be more work.
Okay, because I've got a BNO55. I got the one from last. with the breakout board for it, and it's got the. But that's a Cortex M0, which is kind of amazing, actually. And we got a Cortex M0, a full 9 degree of that motion, sensor fusion device.
Yeah, that for as an IMU, so as a tilt sensor, as like an absolute orientation sensor, that the BNO055 is awesome. I've used it for other projects.
All right,
Which,
your noodle.
the noodle, yeah, I think I posted that at some point.
Talked about it. It looks amazing. It's like a lot of fun. It was a fun project.
It was super fun because it was one of those things that it was a kind of a joke in college. Where it was like, oh, can we do this? Because we had an underwater robot on a tether, and then years later, or like 2 years later, I saw somebody do something very similar at my job, and then a few years after that, I was like, you know what? I'll just sit down and do it myself. And it's a great sensor for that.
Yeah.
Do any of you guys have any experience with like getting temperature sensor data and sending it to like this, then that?
On the Duet in particular, no.
Or just in general?
I've done it for like custom projects, but I'm not sure it applies.
No, I was just, I had this idea to print these smart grates for my heat system. I have an old furnace and it just blows heat all through the house and heats up all these rooms I don't need heated. I was thinking I could just print little grates.
I helped a friend build something similar. So what you want to look into is MQTT.
MQTT.
Yep.
Absolutely, MQTT.
And then there's a home automation software, Red.
Node-RED.
Right.
Yeah, Node-RED. I helped a friend with that. Basically what he did was currently has a bunch of printers in his basement and they run 24/7, and he actually built a fire suppression system because of the concerns of having that many printers running 24/7 in his basement with cats and things while he's away at work. So
That's reasonable.
he went and put little temperature and humidity sensors all over his house and inside of each printer enclosure, as well as cameras. And then we've built an automation system using Node-RED.
Yeah, I use Node-RED a lot of my development. If I need a prop that's cheaper than I can do with full ESP32 or 8266, I build props for escape rooms and beyond. Okay. So if I need a prop
you build props for what?
escape rooms,
Okay.
so a prop that's going to be smarter than something I can do for Arduino, or I just want to do it fast, easy, I'll use a Pi 0W with Node-RED, and I have full access to the GPIO, plus a full MQTT communication suite that I can use to send and receive messages from the.
Well,
So
thank you.
Huh.
Node like for doing simple automation. It works really well for that.
Nice. I mean, I feel like that, you know, the energy efficiency you could gain by just having, you know, rather than getting a whole, like, wiring a house for thermostats and doing zoned heating, you could just hack older systems into operating in that manner.
So check this out. I unexpectedly got a result from the Jubilee that kind of blows my mind at the moment.
Wow, nice one. Ooh.
Now, this looks pretty good.
I didn't do anything since the last time I posted one, so I'm not sure where the twist went.
Maybe you heated it up and cooled it down.
Oh, you know, that's actually, I've been printing, and it is heated right now.
Are you letting your plate soak extra long before you do your readings?
Well, before I was just running a whole bunch of mesh levels, one after another. I wasn't printing anything, so.
But your bed was hot, right?
No, like I said, I wasn't printing anything. I was just trying to get the twist out of the machine. So.
Gotcha.
Huh. Well, how about that?
Maybe you have one of those plates that's twisted when it's cold and magically straightens itself when it's hot?
No, the plate's flat. But the stuff on top of the plate might not be as much.
Well,
Like
that's a pretty looking mesh there.
Yeah. Well, that's a thing. Yeah,
Ever touch it again?
had a really terrible first layer going, and I'm like, what's going on? So I just rehomed and remeshed everything. All right. But yeah, how do you like the one for the big box? That shows you what rail sag really does.
It's like a textbook picture.
Wow. Yeah. Go ahead and redo your big box, but do separate side.
I'm sorry, say what?
I'm being silly.
I didn't hear what you said, though.
Do a 7x7 grid instead of a 3x3.
Oh, I'm going to increase it. I just was trying to get the bed to be as level as I could before I went to do the mesh, the big mesh.
Okay. All right. Let's see if this works. Woo! Printing my calibration cube, or my flow rate cube. See if this works.
There we go. That first layer is coming out much better. Still not perfect, but much better. Like the last time I tried to print this particular file, it was bad.
Yeah. Also need to. So Josh, you're thinking that this isn't going to be.
Thinking that what?
Okay.
Oh, something is breaking up again.
The diameter.
I think you're going to have to type it because we can't understand you.
You sound like you're speaking Klingon.
Oh no. You've offended him. How dare you? Hey,
Is that better?
that's a little better.
I think it might be a network problem.
Mm.
Hey, have you ever tried Wi-Fi sweet spot that?
Well, I'm running so much to get gear, so it's just the iPad. Let me switch to the computer.
I do wireless installs for my company on the side, and one of the best apps ever for troubleshooting Wi-Fi problems. It's a free one from ASSIA. It's called Wi-Fi Sweet Spot. I think he left, didn't he?
God, the fan on the Jubilee right now is so terrible.
The fan of the what?
The fan I have on the Jubilee right now is just so terrible. Like, I can watch it spin. I think I could count how fast it's spinning. Like, there's something wrong with the ball bearings.
Oh, interesting.
Sometimes I can flick it and it'll speed back up again, but
Maybe you got some frilly bits of some like hair or filament.
maybe. There we go. Now it's starting to go. But I've got a whole box of new fans, and I just need to print the fan holder mounts for it and the new duct.
So I'm running through just under a kilogram of filament every day printing shields right now.
Are you getting the filament?
That's the challenge. I have a library of filament already, so I'm just kind of seeing through that and then buying what I can to replace it. But some of the stuff is really high-end, like import tape, that's $40. So I'm kind of trying to stay away from that and just throw in my cheap engine filament first.
Hello, how's that?
Oh my God, you're
Well, that
loud.
sounds great. Whoa.
Okay,
Who is this
so
person?
all right, so this is coming out of my MacBook Pro.
Hold on,
this is so
I gotta
good.
turn you down.
Every word is crisp.
All right, so maybe I was pushing the limits of the iPad. And by the way, you guys sound awesome also.
Oh wow.
Um,
Every word is
right,
coming through.
this is like last year's top-end model. I hadn't replaced my Mac for 10 years, so I'll buy one good computer every decade.
So I have a weird question for you. On your labelers, were you looking at were you talking about the Dymo
Oh, yes.
industrial label, the Rhino 4200?
No. Well,
then you got the Brother P-Touch.
I got the P550W, so it's Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So I can I can type on my computer to create a list, or I can use a spreadsheet to create all the tags and send it all in a map.
So they have another one. It's the P750WVP. It's in that same series, but it's like $150. But it's basically Wi-Fi only.
Right.
It's Wi-Fi or NFC.
Yeah.
Or Bluetooth. But
Oh my
there's
God,
no keyboard, essentially.
You guys just stop. I love labelers. I will easily buy another labeler machine.
Well, the one that I listed is $130 off.
Oh my God. What's the original? What?
215.
Okay.
13.
Okay, so I don't have a Dymo, but I really, really want one. Maybe I'll order one for lab and then give it to lab. Because it takes these really cheap AliExpress heat shrink tubing cartridges that you can get 4 for $20 for.
Well, Josh, I got 3 for 21 off of
That's pretty
Amazon for the brother.
That's quite good. Is that heat shrink tubing or is it normal vanilla label?
That's shrink tubing.
Ooh, but that's
Again,
not bad.
we have the regular label.
With shrink tubing from him, label makers.
Yeah.
The coolest thing ever.
Where's the post for that thing?
Okay.
It's in
So,
machine electronics.
yeah. So the Brother P-Touch Edge that you're talking about, that 750 WDP. Yep. I have the same piece of hardware without the Wi-Fi, but it's software crippled. There are ways to trick it into printing.
This one prints.
I know the one I got. I paid $38 for because Staples was going out, or Office Max was closing in this area. I got two of them for $38 each.
First Staples has it for like $7.
So, but the Brother I've got, I can carry in the field, and I've got the keyboard on. So, and it's ginormous with horns, with a built-in lithium battery.
Wait, which channel did you post that thing on?
Machine electronics.
And I posted both of them in the live stream chat.
Okay.
So, Josh, your response to the "why don't you use square nut" was elegant and well spoken, and I think you made your argument very clearly.
Oh, well, okay, so like I've used both.
Oh yeah, no, you've got two sets of square nuts in the Jubilee, although you posted only one.
Oh yeah, there are two. Yeah. Okay, so the long story short is I have found ways to replace both of those, and I will figure out a way to share it. I need to produce more of them. But let me see. If you are willing to buy another part, Bololu 1997 is for the carriage pulley. Oh, sorry, I think it's 1998.
POL.
Yeah, it's Bololu, POLOLU. I'll post a link.
What was the number?
That one. So that one is for the carriage pulley.
Oh,
And
I think
then-
I got one of those.
Yeah. So I have a modification of that part. I mean, it's totally something you can do in 5 seconds. It's just a cut. It's just an extrude cut.
What is this for?
Around 5 millimeters. It's for the carriage pulley.
For both of them.
No, wait. So the other one is 6 millimeters.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that one I had 50 of them in China, and I really like it. I just haven't. I mean, if you want to send me your shipping information, I'll send you one. But I was going to give it to Illustrator. It's to replace all the square nuts on Jubilee, which there's only 2 of them.
So we're going to replace 2 8-cent square nuts with about $12 in parts.
Well, it's actually okay. So you have to buy a whole bag of square nuts, which is $6.99.
Yeah, but yeah.
And the hub, I got the hub made for $350. And this part you can also get made for about $350. So it ends up being about the same price because we had to buy a whole bag of square nuts from the get-go.
So this is in the center of a printed part? In the carriage?
Yeah, so it's to replace the square nut. Let me see if I can send you a picture. There we go. Okay, I can't ship anybody anything for like a month, but I will when it happens. When I get more space, it'll happen.
So, Josh, when I get those other little tiny wafer thin screws, I'll send you some of those. How many Jubilees do you have? Or how many would you be interested in messing with as far as this carriage plate switch idea?
Oh yeah, I'd start with one. Yeah, no rush because I haven't visited the post office in a long time. Probably.
You don't even get mail delivery?
I do get mail, but I just can't send like mail stuff. Or I've been like opting not to mail stuff, so I don't actually go visit lots of people.
Really? Okay. You know about Click and Ship, right?
What's this?
Click and Ship.
Oh boy, learning something new.
You can create priority mail shipping labels from your computer. You print it
Okay.
out, stick it on the box, and they pick it up at the door.
Oh my god, I need to do this. Except I need a 2D printer now.
Ooh, that.
But
Just put a pen in your printer.
Yeah, put a pen in.
Yeah,
it.
You
just
already
put a
got
pen in the
that.
printer and draw the labels or handwrite them. Well, no, you need barcodes.
no, I need
It
a
would be
barcode. Yeah.
It would be hilarious to draw barcodes with just a pen plotter.
I wonder if that would work.
Can't this hand?
What happened to your pen plotter that you made? Did you tear it apart for the Jubilee?
Say what?
What happened to the pen plotter that you made? Did you tear it apart for the
Oh
Jubilee?
no, I still have it. It's in lab. But if I'm gonna go to lab, I might as well just print stuff on the school computer. I haven't bought a printer for this reason because I get free printing at school.
Is it really free, or did you pay for it?
Well, they're paying for me to go to school, so
Well, then, all right then. That's
I
a
guess
bonus.
Who's paying you to go to school?
well, depending on where you go to grad school, they will pay you to go to grad school. It's not a lot of money. It's like a terrible job. It's like $25K a year. So just FYI. But at least I'm
Well,
not paying for tuition.
So,
whoa.
Josh, a friend of mine may be pointing one of his grad students to talk to you
Oh, that's cool.
from Carnegie Mellon.
Okay.
So my friend Tom Pope is, I don't remember what his exact title is, but he's like one of the assistant directors in the robotics IT section.
Mhm.
And he's got grad students, plus he coaches like 5 or 7 robot teams, first robotics, including 2 China teams.
2 remote teams?
2 teams from China. Yep. And these are like young people. I think they're all under 18, 16, 12, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
First robotics. So, but yeah, they do a lot of stuff, and his grad student's got a Prusa i3 Mark III
Okay.
that he's never actually gotten to print anything on because the grad student's always tearing it down and doing some kind of mod to it. Yeah, it's a workhorse. You don't tear down a workhorse. So I figured it's like get him to point this grad student towards you, and I told him it's probably around I told him $2,000, $2,500 for a full build.
With 2 tools, it's like 2K, yeah.
Yeah. Just to give him an idea of what kind of budget they're looking at. So he might be getting in touch with them. I told him I'd get him on the Discord if he wants to make an introduction.
Oh yeah,
So
that would be cool.
if we get another university building stuff, this might be an opportunity for you to have another subject. I mean, another independent. I don't know what you were doing with your other grad students. Hand them a bill of materials and an instruction list.
Yeah. Yeah, we're actually still doing that. It's ongoing. I'm actually dropping off a partially assembled machine at someone's house.
How many
yeah, that'd be
Jubilees are
cool.
at your
So
campus?
you can do an ozone soak on the machine to disinfect it if you're concerned.
Well, I figured I'd just let it sit for a couple of days in their garage. There's 1v1 and there's 1v2 that's currently working. And I basically spent the last couple of days printing face shields. Then there's another one that chemistry or chemical engineering has basically commissioned me to build so I can add a different tool onto it. So that one, the hardware is mostly there. That one's the one that runs the Duet 3. And then there is one that the master students are almost done building. So there's really only like 3 or 4.
Have you thought on your face shield? Which ones are you printing? Which model?
It's the NH1. And the reason, so it's a kind of a long story how I got looped into it, but a friend who was local was like, hey, these people at UW Medicine are asking for this particular one. I'm looking for people who are willing to print these, and then we'll have someone coordinate and pick them up. They get disinfected, and then they get put to use, and they're like single use. It's the DTM3 from the NIH.
Okay, so they're doing single use.
I think so.
See, these aren't really designed. That one isn't designed for a single use. It's actually been approved for a single user, but not for multiple users, but for a single user with a face shield changeout.
Mhm.
Which model is it?
It's the one on the DT3.
DTM3.
Yeah, I have a stack of them at the moment.
This one. Oh, they have a 3.1 now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I got it
Like
down.
one Prusa was making?
No, the Prusa one is a little different. So the Prusa one's cool because I think the new version is stackable.
Yeah, they can print 4 or 5 at a time.
But it's one of those things where, in the case where people making stuff for people, it makes sense to follow the specifications of what they want.
Exactly. My local makerspace has just got a revised design that was revised based on the Hampton Roads Medical Society, and so it's been approved by essentially the local medical coordinator for the area.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a goal of 3,500 in the next 10 days.
Okay.
Virginia is starting to see a rise in cases.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I can do about 12 per day. Nothing goes wrong.
Well, that's the reason I'm trying to get these Ender 5s up and running. That'll give me 4 machines that I can print on, and then go back to building the Jubilee.
So my friend Jeff, I've had my printer going pretty much constantly, and I can get at this point about 16 a day. I've got the print time down to just over an hour. I'm like at an hour and 7 minutes.
What about like for the material to hold it to your head and the visor and whatnot? Where are you getting all that from?
So the company, here where I'm at, IC3D, who you guys all probably know who they are, they're managing all of that. So they're basically providing filament on the cheap. I believe they're giving us like a 15% off whatever their price is on their site, and we can just go to their operations here and pick it up, and we can pick up like 2 kilo and 5 kilo spools if we want.
That's cool. I have a bunch of extra.
Yeah, so that's what I've been using my extra, and then once I'm kind of through all of my inexpensive filament, before I start getting into the like expensive exotic stuff that I have, I'll probably start ordering my series.
Okay.
So I am not doing my Protopasta custom colors for this.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So long story short is that just right before this all blew over, I went to a meetup in Portland. And on the way, the same friend who looped me into doing face shields right now, and I went to go visit the folks at Protopasta, and they were like, "Hey, have a couple 3 kilogram spools," and I was like, "Thanks." And so I'm just using that.
My friend Jeff, he is contemplating putting a Jubilee eventually, but right now he has a Delta, he has a couple Ender 3s, and he has a Prusa. He's cranking out like 45 or 50 a day himself.
Holy shit.
I mean, literally
Dumbass.
has a lineup of 3 or 4 printers just going constantly, set timers, and will like pause meetings for work and go downstairs to pop them off.
Yeah. So our local one.
Oh, look at this.
It's a modified one. It doesn't require a band around the back. It's kind of a cross between the DTM, the NIH DTM one, and the Swedish one. And that's the one the local guys approved. It's from the 757 makerspace. Let me see if I can show you what one of them looks like. But that's the one that they want us to make, so we're making them.
Yeah, it's my heads up to everyone is to make sure that somebody will take them. So make sure you make the one that people want, and be safe. Don't go meet a bunch of people and say hi.
Shake their hand.
Just don't interact with lots of people.
The way I see
They don't.
is asking for people to do it is really smart. They're asking that you keep them in small batches, so don't hand them a box with 500 in them. Have bags of 16 or 10 or whatever. That way, if they have problems, they can just throw out a bag and not have to throw out all of your work. And other things, they're working out the. So it turns out that the appropriate cleaning method, sterilization method, is basically.
Yep.
So
very clean.
you basically take buckets of pool chlorine, with 5-gallon buckets full of water with the pool, let it sit, and then take it out.
Soak them for 20 minutes. So, did you see Smarter Every Day? You ever watch that one?
Yeah,
Oh,
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, so he posted one about how they set up their local processing. They had 4 nurses come in and set up their disinfecting routine.
Yeah.
It's like, we just did what they told us to build.
So
and they're processing a lot, so in their local area. But they're also using a Saturn V, one of the warehouses, factory floors that they built the Saturn V in. So there you go. Because they're at Huntsville.
Oh, okay.
So those are the two. Those are the ones that I've been printing locally. But the second one, the one on the left, is what we've been told to make. No elastic required. But they can also just use a rubber band across the back if needed.
Yeah, Matter Hackers is a very similar thing as that, and they've delivered 10,000 so far.
Yeah, well, that works.
But theirs doesn't have the angle binder. It just has a small tray that I think you're supposed to roll wheat in or something. I'm not quite sure what it's for, but
that yeah, I think that's the one from the modified one from the Swede.
yeah. They don't need a headband. Well, at least for me, it actually just fits right on your head. You don't even need a rubber band on it.
All right, my flow rate's dead on. Oh, there's the Budman one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what IC3D is having.
Wow.
Something I like about it is it's enclosed, which is similar to the newer style Prusa, DTM3 style, but it prints fast because you don't have that big amount of material arcing over, and it prints pretty reliably even on unreliable.
Right. The DTM was they like the DTM because it provides more coverage across the forehead, and you can actually drop your hood drops into it when you're wearing your hood, so you get a better seal at that point. All right, so my flow rates are in pretty good shape. So,
hey guys, I gotta go out for the night.
what? No way! All right.
Yeah, I got my HR paperwork done, and my fiance is in the morning, so.
Well, printers and the fiance are best.
Tell everyone we said hi.
I will. Hopefully I'll get back to assembling printers and things in the next day or two. I literally yesterday got my box of bolt screws from Bolt Depot.
Boxo Bolt?
Nice. Happy day.
I think I told you, Josh, I kind of went crazy with the...
I think I do remember. Yeah.
I bought everything for M3, M4, and M5 screws between, like, whatever the smallest was they had, up to, like, 20 millimeters.
$109, Josh, for a bag of these.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. So I remember my first job. It was like a fake startup out of Bosch, and we had no lab, and so we were like, okay, we're gonna buy everything from an M3, everything in M4, and yeah. So it's fun times.
I literally stopped myself when I started looking at like shoulder bolts and was like, well, shoot, they're like $4 or $5 a piece. I don't think that's gonna work if I just. I wish I could. I could be like, okay, half, you know.
So this scooter actually.
Hey Josh, check that out. It's getting better.
Yeah, that does look good.
What are we?
The
You just
German.
posted something.
Looking good.
Yeah, Steve, I was gonna say this. The Philips scooter sells shoulder bolts for $2, but I mean your sizes are limited, but actually that's quite affordable.
So the scary part was I looked at McMaster Car and
Oh.
their prices weren't that